say hey. I say hey. I say hey. I say hey. Good morning, Nishani. Good morning, Nishani. In Africa, let's unite. In Africa, let's come together. Let's live as one together as a family. I say Africa, 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 hey, hey, hey. I say Africa, 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 hey, hey, hey. Africa, 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 Africans, Africa, hey, hey, hey. Botswana is in Africa. Somalians, they still Africans. Zimbabwe, they still Africans. Namibia, they still Africans. Yeah. I say Ghana, Togo, Libya, Tanzania, my South Africa. Africa, 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 hey, hey, hey. I say African, Africans, Africa, 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 hey, hey, hey. Can you clap, sir? Hey, hey. I say hey, 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 hey. I say hey, hey, hey. I say hey, hey, hey. Okay, how many of you know how to sing? I'm going to choose, ne? Let's give it up for her, you know? Let's say 1, 2. I say hey, hey, hey. I say I say yeah. Give it up for her, yeah. Mabuza, it's a challenge. Say what? Let's give it up for Mabuza, everyone, yeah. I say hey, hey. I say hey. I say one. I say one. I say one. Thank you very much, yeah. Thank you so much, Ukopa, the name of Chef in the Kitchen Music. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Wow, that was fun. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, you will notice that on the far end of the table, there's a paper looking like this. This one. So please fill it in with your omunye pesgo munye roommate. Then it goes across. If you don't fill it in, you won't have accommodation when we allocate rooms. So you fill in your name and your partner's name. Your partner. Yeah. All right. Hey. Okay. Thank you very much, colleagues. So now we are going to move in lightning speed because we are fast approaching time for addressing issues of the stomach once more. So we are going to do lightning talks. These lightning talks are capped at 15 minutes maximum. We are going to start with the Gauteng Treasury, who's going to have a conversation with us with regards to the Central Supplier Database. Do you know it? CSD. Do you know it? Are you registered on CSD? You've got an MAAA number? Okay. You don't? Okay. So we've got Ntate Mononyane, who's going to have a conversation with us on that regard. Then immediately after that, we've got two industry experts from clothing and textile and furniture side who are going to have a conversation with you around the value chain and the opportunities that are available in these industries. So can we please give Ntate Mononyane a round of applause? Colleagues, when you write here, do not write all your details, please, 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 please. Just write your name, surname, and yes. Okay.
Sir, Sanbon. So, when you've got the piece of paper, the name, surname, the room number you will not know, the mobile number, ID, email, and signature is your own. Right next to that is another block for name, surname, room number, blah, 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 blah. Exactly next to yours is the person you will be sharing with. Okay? Please. I see that there's a few errors, we'll fix it, but when you write your name, you need to know who you are going to be sharing with. And if you don't know, then we'll give time for you to then figure out who your partner will be. Thanks. My apologies.
Dumela Bagolo. Lankutlo. Okay, Bagolo, thanks very much for giving me this opportunity go tlo bua le lona ka taba ya CSD ne. I know that some of you already listen to mo CSD akere. You understand it and all that, but you know most we can't all be on CSD. So for those people who don't understand CSD, I think it will be very, very important for me to do this presentation. We have been asked to do the presentation in 15 minutes, so I'm trying to be fast, ne? And then all the other questions we can meet after the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, just quickly. My name is Thomas Monanyana. I've come from. My name is Thomas. Good, all right. Yeah, okay. As far as Monanyana, ne, kitwa ko Gauteng Provincial Treasury. Kitsamale ausona ka usemeli. So usemeli ko actually read the presentation, but she's also doing the actual capturing ko CSD. So after presentation, we will have the contact details. Everyone who needs assistance, we can phone or real phone email. Then we can help over the phone. But the other thing that we also planning to do is that Akere will be here today, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, perhaps half a day Wednesday. So we are planning to come again on Wednesday to do the actual capturing for people who want to be on the database. Ne? Can I just find out how many people need assistance or want to be on the database so that, or no, I think it's a few. So we'll arrange for Wednesday. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me try to be quick. Ne? I've been asked to come and talk to you about CSD, Central Supplier Database. Ne? Simply put, CSD is a database, it has been started by DTI. It's a government database. So the purpose of establishing the database was that there should be only one database is used by the government, so that things should be easy when they want to procure goods or when they want to procure services. So some people will want to know, why should I register on CSD? Ne? Let me just give a brief history. Ne? In the past, around 2003, 2004, we had a database which was based in Gauteng Service Center. I know some people know about it, ne? Where we used to have a vendor number starting with 11,000 and some numbers consisting of 10 digits, which we used to call Gauteng Treasury Database. Now the one that I'm talking about is the one which is used by the government, the national level, provincial and municipalities. So in order for me as a supplier actually to have an opportunity to do business with the government, it's a requirement that I register on the CSD. Otherwise, no registration, no business. But with the previous one that I'm referring to for the vendor numbers, it was not necessary to register. This one is number one. It's a requirement that we register. No? Number two, I want to stress this point that although this database is in operation, as we speak today, at national, provincial, and municipality level, you know, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. And you know, all these new things take time for people to understand. Ne? So it's not all the municipalities that are now using the CSD. So if you say someone phone you from municipality and say, asking for a quotation, and then asking about vendor numbers and all that, my advice will be just cooperate with the person, because I know some of the municipalities are still going through this process. They are still using the old database. But what the government is thinking is that as from next year, around 2019, all the people need to be there. But we know most people, as the government is the government. Sometimes we put deadlines, but sometimes they are not really carried out. I'm just passing. So, ladies and gentlemen, the other thing that I also want to state is that, you know, the CSD is something that a supplier needs to do to capture, self-capture. Once, I mean, you have the computer or you have access to technology, you can do it yourself at home. You know about it. But now, as time goes on, you see, the government has this challenge that people do not all have computers. Or others have computers, but they are struggling to have information captured in the system. So one of the interventions that Treasury is doing is that at our offices, we have what we call help desk, where people come from Monday to Friday from around 8 in the morning till 3 p.m. in the afternoon. There are people working there who are actually dedicated to doing the capturing. You don't have to make appointment, just come, and then you'll be assisted. And then the other thing is that, you know, we also have extended our services, as I was saying, that we'll give you our personal contacts. You can phone me, or you can phone email. We'll also be able to assist you people. Okay. Let me ladies and gentlemen, the documents that we're gonna need to register on CSD is a CK1. You know CK1, like the document from SIPS, bank account, tax clearance, and triple BE information. Now, let me just emphasize this, ladies and gentlemen. The CK1 is a must, SIPS document. Tax clearance is a must. The affidavit is a must. And then the bank account is a must. It's four documents. Ne? Sorry? Yeah, I have mentioned 4 documents. Ne? Now let me just explain this one, the 4th one, about the bank. I mean, the government is aware that many people are struggling with finances. Ne? I mean, to open a bank, we need something plus minus 500, if I'm not wrong. It's like that. Ne? And you find that you register today, perhaps you're going to be on the database for a period of 12 months without getting business. And you need to maintain the bank account monthly, every month. So there is an option on the system, on the CSD process or program, as they call it, ne? Where you can self-capture the CK1 tax clearance, BB information. Then you just press, there's a button that we say no bank information. Then if you press that one, you'll be able to eventually get your NEEE number that Thabang was speaking about. I don't know if I'm clear. I've mentioned 4 requirements, ne? But I've said lately it has been improved. You can remove the 3rd one. Then you can do it at a later time when you have enough money for that. Okay. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that in order for us to do business with the government, we need to be tax compliant. What it means is that my position or my status at SARS should be in a positive position. So what is happening is that when, say, I have been requested to submit a quotation or I'm tendering, and then my tax businesses are not okay, you know, the supply will not be automatically rejected. But what happens is that the people who are doing buying will always inform the supplier that, you know, your tax finances, I mean, your tax status is not correct. You need to go to SARS. They will update it. And what happens is that once SARS updates the information, the tax information, it will automatically be updated on the CSD. In other words, say today you do the capturing, put in the whole information. You know, the program is so good in such a way that it will be able to verify that information from SIPs, SARS, SIPs, and the others. Mm-hmm. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I know that, as I've said, that the system or the program is a new thing. We have challenges. And then one of the challenges that we know is that people receive requests from unknown sources to say, give us quotation on this and this and this. And, you know, I mean, suppliers have been phoning Treasury to find out what is really happening. Is it the information really secure, safe? Now, let's start with this one of the challenge of the scam. Is it old? So quick. Okay. Where was I? Sorry, where was I? Okay, I was speaking about the challenge. Sorry, it's empty, but I think this man. Yeah, so I was speaking about the challenges of the scam emails. What I was saying is that in order for me as a supplier to be able to discover that this is a scam or not, you need to look at the email address as it is itself. The correct email from a government department will always end up with that at gauteng.gov.za. If anything else, know that it is not the proper thing. And another thing, remember that if someone phone me or send an information to me through a computer saying that he needs there's a tender that needs to be given, you know, I know I have come across such things. Ne? The first thing is that a government tender will always have a number. It will always have a number. So if someone requests information from me, you need to give me the tender number, and it will always start like GT, which is Gauteng tender, stroke, and then a number, and then the year. So those are the things that will help us to can be able to say this is a scam or not. But people, you know that this thing is about technology. And we know that there are wise people who can really go and do all sorts of things. They can back into it, they can go into the system and do whatever. So personally, I'll say that, you know, or let me put it this, I want voucher to say that the system is 100% secure from my experience. But what I can say is that because of the passwords, the OTPs and all that, to a certain extent, it is really secure and all that. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, the other thing that I wanted to say was that when we are doing our presentation, people always want to find out if there is any intervention that is being done considering the tendering process. So what is happening is that at our offices, every Wednesday, there's a session called supplier session, where the presenters actually focus on the tender forms, the filling of tender forms. So it started around 10 in the morning till about 1 o'clock. So attendance is also free. Just come in, you sign the register, then it's fine. Then my contact details. Contact details. I'll start with myself. So I say the name is Thomas. Surname is Munanyana. Munanyana is a Tswana surname. The numbers is 082 663 8520. Yeah, 082 663 8520, 011 689 6776. You know, I'm giving the cell numbers because most of the time we are moving, so you are not in the offices. So it's easier for people to contact you when they know the cell numbers. No? Or 011 so 689 6776. Email is 011 689 8257. 8257. Okay. Is it time up? Or the email address is, as I've said, it always ends with @gauteng.gov. So I can just, it's muitlamo.munnanyana. Muitlamo is MOITLA, but you can phone me, then I can, if you phone me, I can, what do you call? Scan and then I give you the information. Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. If you have questions, you're still around. It's just we are trapped for time because our program is, we need, hence I said it's a lightning talk. But he's around, even during lunch you can come, go see him, or Lemme. You met him, Maker? You haven't? This is Emily. She works with Ntate. So if you have any questions around CSD, if it's written you are non-compliant on tax, but your tax clearance certificate is okay, they know how to help you. If your bank account does not show, but you have a bank account, there might be an error. Maybe you forgot to write PTY LTD, so they will help you. Then up next, the second of the 3 lightning talks is a very inspirational guy from the clothing and textile space. He's gonna engage you guys. He's running a very famous brand. I'm sure some of you are beginning. It's as famous as Riatapa. You know Riatapa? RT. Yes. So I will call on stage Umzwandile Gauteng from One Day Sopopa. If you don't know him, you'll know him today.
Afternoon, everyone. Hey, I just heard the sound of disappointment when people said Mzwandile Chong, like, oh. Maybe people are already thinking, leader, that I've already pocketed the money. Hey, guys, I'm here for the money. I also want to know how to eat. I'm hungry, just like all of us, you know. And then Zwile laba tu nabo babes bama Kellogg's, abo babes bama breakfast, mina ngu babes we pop. Igama ngumzwandile wakajongwe. I'm from Springs in Guatemala. I'm a hustlerpreneur, just like all of us in the room. Being a hustlerpreneur for me means starting where you are with what you have and grow towards the direction you want to go to. No excuses, no limitations. I've learned in my experience as an entrepreneur, winners are actually people who have realized their limitations but focus on their strengths. While on the other hand, losers are people who realize their strengths but focuses on their weaknesses. And I believe, Guti, as township entrepreneurs in the room here, we have realized our limitations. But more importantly, it's not our limitations that matter. It's not our limitations that are important to us. It's our strengths. You know, the fact that we are creators, we are creative in our thinking, and we want to use our creative abilities to write history instead of using our creative abilities to memorize history that has been made by other people. So, bangibizange industry expert, nabash. It's a new tag that I'm adding on my hustlerpreneurship name, industry expert. You know, And I suppose in my being here, we are going to share and we are going to learn from each other what I've picked up in my journey as an entrepreneur, particularly in that space. And I suppose our challenges are the same. One, we are dealing or we are trying to grasp this concept called entrepreneurship. Majority of us here are the first generation entrepreneurs in our family. We have never seen an uncle, we've never seen an aunt, we've never seen a father, we've never seen a mother who has championed this thing called entrepreneurship. And when we went to school, majority of us, we went to register for courses that are going to prepare us to work for other people. But the unfortunate reality of unemployment is that not all of us made it, myself included. I did not make it to the cut. But there were those that were fortunate enough to make it to the cut, but when they got inside, they realized, Guti, it always looks greener, you know, when you are on the other side, and they left the employment to try and take risks, calculated risks. Little did we know, Guti, this thing called entrepreneurship is a very big monster. It's very challenging, you know, and to a certain point, it's frustrating and stressing. If you are married, I feel for you. If you're not married, don't try to deal with entrepreneurship and marriage at the same time, or even raising kids. This thing is not easy. That's the first challenge that all of us are faced up with here. You don't know what is the right thing to do in the space that you are. And as we may all agree, but many of us, we are learning things as we are coming across them. You know, as you try and do this thing, you discover what you know, you went about the wrong way. You were supposed to start that other way, you know, and we go through these entrepreneurship classes. We are being told what you know, it's supposed to be the idea first, you know. In fact, before idea, it's concept, it's inspiration, and matters of the stomach are pressing before it. We cannot be forever going through processes that we don't understand, you know. So that's the first challenge, grasping this thing called entrepreneurship. And this thing is very huge, Bafwet. It's very huge, it's very scary, and it requires one to learn on the daily basis, not only from the classroom, but we also need to learn from one another. Number two, we are dealing with the challenges of competing, one, with ourselves, as we are here in the room. We are all creators, we all want to shine, even though not all of us are going to shine, but we want to shine. And we must work hard, and we must work towards that direction. You know, I believe good to one day is Zopopa, and it's not all of us about Zopopa, but at least die trying, you know. And over and above, competing with one another, the biggest competitor that is threatening the industry that we are trying to thrive into is the Chinese cheap imports. Whether are we going to be buying from each other? If I come to you and my brother, I need you to make the jacket for me, and you're going to give me a quota 450 to make and to manufacture the jacket, and I go to the Chinese, I get the very same jacket for 80 rands. Do I continue with 450 or I continue with the Chinese? You know, and consciously as entrepreneurs, we are not aware when we make these decisions. Ogoti, we are killing the very same industry we are trying to resuscitate, because I'm going to go for the cheaper option with aim, which I'm going to come and I'm going to maximize my profit when I actually sell the merchandise or sell my products onto the end client. But in the bigger picture, I am killing the elephant that I'm trying to raise up, you know, because somebody somewhere is losing their job. There is a CMT, there's somebody who can manufacture the very same jacket who is struggling to get that money from me, you know. And like the other speakers have spoken before me, collaborations are the new black, you know. And as a black generation, it's time we realize black is a new thing, you know. So if collaboration is a new black and we are black, you know, it means we must start creating collaborations amongst ourselves. Instead of me going for the Chinese imports, let me identify a brother or a sister who can run a CMT company and manufacture my stuff. Personally, I am not a seamstress, you know. I'm just a creative, I'm a visionary. I think things, I contact a graphic designer, I meet somebody who can sew, I tell them what I want to do, you know, and what I've got in mind, and then they create it, you know. I mean, both of us are creators, and we must all coexist within that particular space. Nobody must be bigger than the other, you know. So that is the biggest challenge that is facing us. And I suppose, Guti, in the next three days, we are all going to be trying to break this thing down. ngapha sibhekane nama-China bafowethu, ngapha sibhekane nalento abathi entrepreneurship iyasibhayizisa, ngapha sibhekane nenyuku, you know, because we are here because we want money. Let's be clear, bafowethu, nobody is here to learn how to make jackets or how to make clothes or how to make furniture. You already know that. That you already know. The biggest problem is funding. How do we access funding? How do we get money to scale up the ideas that we have? How do we get resources to access market? It's another challenge. Remember, how big is the clothing and textile industry, bafowethu? It's huge. And nobody must tell you that it's saturated. I met a lot of people who told me, look, Zwa, stop this thing, close down. This is saturated space. You are competing in a space that is full. You know, and I disagree, because if I go to the mall, there is a super dry sweater on the shelf, you know, and from a super dry, there is a Levi sweater that is selling. There is an Adidas t-shirt that is still making it. There is even Underarm, which is less than 5 years in the market, and they're killing the industry in South Africa. People are spending their money, you know, to buy these brands, to buy these commodities. And Tina, we are struggling, you know. So people, so all I'm saying, Bafowethu, is that this industry is big, but here's something for us to think about. All of us in this room here are wearing something from the tip of our heads to the, from the top of our heads to the tip of our toes. We are wearing something, from underwears, vests, jackets, you know, and you can name it. Now the question is, who has made the items you are wearing? Are you conscious when you make your decision to make a purchase? Who has made this? Do you look at the label? Do you look at the brand? You know, because brand is something else. Brand is cool. Brands are messages that are being created to entice us. When you wear Nike, you become the fittest athlete, or, you know, Nike is the brand that powers the winners. Those are messages that have been engineered by creators like ourselves to get our mind buying that product. That's a brand. But do we pay attention to the label? Where is this item made? Who made it? And if I'm a creator, why am I not buying locally produced products? What am I contributing to this sector? Am I contributing, or am I minusing from this sector? These are critical questions that somehow, even Guatina as creators, we subconsciously forget these things when we make purchases. Yinhle, istayela, ngizobangena, you understand? Those are the key things that occupy our mind. And we go back at the end of the day, you know, I read a status which bothered me to a certain extent from one of my friends. She actually wrote, which is the truth, you know, because if anything doesn't bother you, it means you are not thinking about that thing. It says, you guys are saying we must buy local. We must spend our hard-earned money buying your products so that you guys can go buy Gucci's. Are they justified in thinking like that? If you are a creator, that statement has got to get to you, you know, because here we are thinking, we need access to market. But when we get to the market, whose products are we buying? We leave aside our own, and we pick aside those that are eating the very same industry that we are trying to exist in. So we are going to provoke each other in terms of our thoughts. I don't know it all, Bafowethu. Nami, I'm battling. You know, I'm battling with this thing, building a brand. You know, some of us are just fashion designers. You know, we are just putotungayo, sisotungayo, you know, how do you become a brand? How do you change from being just a nobody otungayo to be a particular brand? What are your aspirations as a brand? You know, what are your signatures? What are your style? And believe me, Bafowethu, as South Africans, we are still lucky. Even though we are caught in this quagmire of there's imports that are coming, not only cheap ones. Don't only think when I'm talking about imports or the threat is only Chinese. There are big brands as well that are milking the economy of our country. Very huge and very big brand, and they're coming into this country on a daily basis. They are making it. So are we a country that doesn't have money, or we are a country that doesn't prioritize their own? Is the questions that we must ask ourselves. You know, but more importantly, it's I figured out it's difficult for an entrepreneur to try and create and survive as a brand. It's very difficult. And yet there are people that have done it. You know, Abo Kosi Nkosi have done it, Abo David Tlale, they have done it, Skinny Sbu have done it. You know, those are brands, you know, those are brands. But mina nangifika nguzwai, you know, uzwai kajongwe or ulindi lo wenza ipoti. Ubafana wamabhokati. You understand? So we also need to challenge our thinking and say, there's a bigger space that we need to occupy as far as this creativity is concerned. We also need to challenge our paradigms, in terms of how we think with regard to what we are doing. Yes, we are creative. Yes, we are innovative. But are we using our creativity and our innovation to command the attention of the world, or we want to adapt to what the world is telling us is in style this year? So that's where our challenge is. We've got culture, heritage, language, a whole lot of things. For me, I can think about it like when I meet somebody who does not understand what one day soap opera means and says, what does one day soap opera means? It's an opportunity for me to engage that person. It's an opportunity for me to educate that person. It means I am selling something that this person does not know. I am speaking a language that this person is interested in. But still, I may not be scratching their surface, because I'm still existing in the same space. It may be the same jacket they can find somewhere in Australia. It's just the language that is different. So we also need to look at those things. What do we have at our disposal? What do we have in our immediate surroundings? I remember some few years ago in one of the training sessions that we used to go, we actually promoted a lot of think local, act global type of thinking. What is it that you've got local that will sell globally? And a lot of our people did not realize, but we've got lots of assets as creatives that we can sell internationally. In fact, it took the very same international designers to come into our country, pay attention to what we are not paying attention to. You understand? Those are African assets. Tina clearly, because we are taking it for granted. We are looking at this thing and we're thinking, man, it was a Makosa. What can I? Who's this guy? Kosa? Makosa Laduma. Looked at his immediate surrounding and said, you know what? This is culture. How do I use Kosa culture to influence trends in the world? And Abanyebetu, we want to compete globally, yet you haven't conquered locally. Build your brand locally so that it's so strong. Make sure you play around. You understand? And make sure you have built your product to heights that even when you begin to go internationally, you don't have to introduce yourself. Your product will actually introduce you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mazwai. Don't worry, those who are in fashion, that's your facilitator during your commission today. So you still have him, you will communicate. Zatu, Maziawa, we are serious. It's a competition. Zatu. SHN's will prize man. All right. So now I'm going to call on stage a gentleman from Fentech. If you are in furniture, pepswe planka utila na yonkinto na ingakarage izokhuluma nani. Nalaba bayenza ama box we esidimeni lawa aye wawa M1. Yabo. So uzonibonisa ke ukuthi yenzwa kanjani. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. It's very risky to speak before lunch, so I'm going to try and be short. I'm from Fentech. The name is Maxwell. I'm going to be very quick. I would like to give you my details first, and then I will speak. Our phone number is 011 672 2185. The fact that you've written my number, it means you must call us. You can email us on Maxwell, that's MAXWELL, the letter J, Maxwell J, at Fentech, that's FURNTECH.org.za. The number is 011 672 2185. All right, I think a lot of people have spoken about different things that I was going to touch. I think most challenges that the small businesses are facing include access to market. Every time you speak to a small business, they tell you we need market because we need money. We work as an incubator, so we assist small businesses in running their own companies within our space. So basically, we provide you with a protected environment where you can run your company independently from us. So we only provide space, we provide mentorship, we facilitate the linkages between you and the market. We facilitate linkages between you and the financiers, being the bank and everybody that is involved in that space. One of the other challenges that we always see is that there's a shortage of skill. People have got this ambition, they want to do furniture, but then they don't have the right skill to do it. We also are an accredited training provider, so we can train you in different areas of furniture manufacturing. And we have issues with the compliance. A lot of companies, they want to access some of the initiatives that the government have put forward, but they don't have the required compliance in the areas of compliance. So we meet with you on a monthly basis, and we assist you in being compliant. It might be getting an accountant, it might be the tax clearance certificates, or anything that is required for the business. So basically, an incubator is designed, or it's put there to make sure that everything that you need as a small business, it's brought to you. So we've got a facility which is fully equipped, from the basic machine in furniture manufacturing to a 5-axis CNC machine. We've got an office space which you can use as a small business. You get access to the telephone, you've got access to the internet. We are supported by the CEDA Small Enterprise Development Agency. We also work with GEP, GGDA, and the DTI. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the furniture industry, you can contact us. We are in Roodepoort. We have a space for about 15 companies, but that doesn't really limit them. We can also help you if you're based in Soweto or in any other township. We can have what we call a virtual incubation, where we come to you and you come to us if you only want to use certain machines. Without wasting your time, I would like to encourage you to contact me if you have any further questions. Thank you very much.
Bo Peps be planka bafuna ubuza. Okay. Yeah, ngizakupha.
By using your machine, are you going to charge us something, or you didn't clarify there?
Oh, pricing. Okay. Oh, sorry. You lost a picture opportunity by sitting down.
All right. Incubation is not free. We are supported by CEDA, so it's a subsidized service. So CEDA pays the operations, that is the lights, water, and everything. You pay towards maintenance. And the rental that we pay, it's 10% or zero. So in other words, if you make money, you pay towards the maintenance of the machine. But if you don't make money, we're not gonna charge you. Until you grow to a level where we say, now as a business, you need to have a minimum amount that you must make every month. So it's not free, because if we give it to you for free, after 2 years when you exit and you start paying rent, it means you're gonna close down. So there is a fee, but it's very minimum.
Touch my cam. Can we please give him a round of applause? All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have written your names. Is there anyone who doesn't have a roommate? Okay, please raise your hands. That's your roommate, ne? There. Do you see her? Stand up, you'll see her. Yes. That's your roommate. Yes. You are sorted? Sorted? You're not. This is your roommate. It's you. Your roommate is at the back. There. That's your roommate. And there's one. Why are you seated at the back? Okay. Here's a roommate. Gentleman in a black cap, ne? There. Okay. All right. So please make sure you've written your names there, so that when we allocate keys, you will then have access to your rooms. Now, what's going to happen now is that we are going to eat. Yes. So we will move from here. The time, according to my expensive roller, the X is silent. It's 15 minutes to 2. Can we please be here at exactly 2:30, because we will then start with the boot camp. That's where the serious stuff, asisadlali manje, asisajumpa jump, says straight, so deliver. Yeah. Alright. Then laba abanenkinga zama-battery man, abanganama-smartphones alastayo i-battery. Yabo. Bathi bacela after lunch nithathe into zenu ngoba ziphazamisa ama-camera. So ungayishiya manje mhlawumbe uzabuya mhlawumbe igcwele plus mase indala igcwala within 15 minutes. Yabo. So if you want to charge colleagues, please make sure you use open spaces so that banga cracky if we by mistake my phone screens. So we'll see you at exactly 2:30. Hopefully you are having a good time. Go and gain a pound or 2. Lunch, the restaurant is on the other side, but they will help you go there.